Welcome to ZenLight 8, where we uncover the truths that protect your peace and power. Imagine this. You pour your heart out to someone you trust, your struggles, your dreams, your deepest secrets, only to watch them turn it all against you. In a world buzzing with jealousy, betrayal, and hidden agendas, sharing too much isn't just a slip-up, it's a dangerous trap. Today, we're exposing the 9 brutal reasons why keeping your personal life private isn't just smart. It's your ultimate shield. Stick around till the end, hit that like button, and subscribe because what you're about to learn could save you from a mistake you can't undo. Let's dive in. 1. People pretend to care but secretly judge you. Imagine this, you're sitting across from someone you think you know. Maybe a friend, a coworker, or even a family member. You're having one of those moments where you feel safe enough to let your guard down. You start talking about something real, something raw. Maybe it's a financial mess you're trying to climb out of, a mistake from your past that still haunts you, or a quiet insecurity you've been wrestling with alone. You're not looking for pity. You just want someone to hear you, to get it. So you spill your heart out, thinking this person cares, thinking they're on your side. They nod, they smile, they say all the right things. I'm here for you. I totally understand. Don't worry. I've got your back. And for a second, you feel lighter, like a weight's been lifted. But here's the harsh truth you don't see coming. They're not listening to help you. They're not even listening to understand you. They're listening to judge you. And the moment you walk away, that little piece of your soul you handed over, it's already being weighed, measured, and dissected in their mind. Welcome to the silent trial you didn't even know you were on. This is the first brutal reason why sharing your personal life is a dangerous mistake. And it's one so many people fall for without realizing it until it's too late. We've all been there, trusting someone because they seem kind, because they ask the right questions, because they act like they're invested in our story. But the reality is, most people don't listen with their hearts. They listen with their egos. They're not collecting your words to build a bridge between you. They're gathering ammunition to use later, whether it's to feel better about themselves, to gossip with someone else, or to quietly shift how they see you in their heads. And the worst part? You won't even know it's happening. Not right away. Not until the damage is done. Think about it. You tell someone you're struggling to pay your bills this month. You're not asking for a handout, you just need to vent. In your mind, it's a moment of honesty, a chance to let the pressure out. But in their mind, it's a different story. They're not thinking, wow, they're brave for admitting that. No, they're thinking, oh, so they're bad with money. Or, I'd never let myself get into that mess. Suddenly, you're not just a person having a tough month, you're a label. You're the one who can't handle their finances. You're weak or irresponsible in their eyes, even if they never say it out loud. That nod they gave you while you were talking, it wasn't empathy. It was a mask. Behind it, they're already building a version of you that's smaller, less respectable, less worthy of their time. And you don't even see it. This happens all the time, and it's not always obvious. People are masters at pretending. They've got the act down. Those sympathetic ums, the furrowed brows, the perfectly timed, that must be so hard. But deep down, they're not on your team. They're sizing you up, comparing your life to theirs, deciding where you fit in their little mental hierarchy. You think you're opening up to a friend, but what you're really doing is handing them a free pass to judge you in ways you'd never expect. Maybe you tell them about a breakup that left you shattered. You're hoping for a "I've been there too" kind of connection. Instead, they're quietly thinking, no wonder they got dumped. They're too needy, or they should have seen that coming. Your pain becomes their proof that they're somehow better, smarter, more put together than you. And just like that, what you thought was a safe space turns into a courtroom where you're the one on trial. Now, let's take it a step further. Some people don't just judge you silently, they store it up for later. They're like collectors, hoarding every detail you give them, waiting for the right moment to pull it out. Picture this, you've got a coworker you've always gotten along with. One day, over coffee, you admit you've been feeling overwhelmed at work, like you're barely keeping up. They lean in, they listen, they even throw in a "you're doing great. Don't be so hard on yourself." You feel understood, maybe even supported. Fast forward a few weeks. There's a promotion on the table, and suddenly that same coworker is chatting with the boss, casually dropping, "Yeah, they've been really stressed lately. Might not be ready for more responsibility." Your vulnerability didn't win you an ally, it gave them a weapon. They didn't care about your struggle. They cared about how it could make them look better by comparison. And now you're stuck wondering how something so innocent turned into a knife in your back. Here's the thing. People love information. It's power. The more they know about you, the more they can do with it. And most of the time, they're not doing it to lift you up. They're doing it to prop themselves up. You tell someone about a mistake you made years ago. Say, a bad decision that cost you a job or a friendship. You've grown since then, you've learned, but to them, that's not the point. In their head, they're not seeing the new you. They're seeing the old version, the one who screwed up, the one they can feel superior to. Oh, they messed up that bad? Well, I'd never do something that dumb. Your growth doesn't matter to them. Your story isn't inspiration, it's entertainment. It's a chance for them to pat themselves on the back for not being you. And it doesn't stop there. Sometimes the judgment isn't even about feeling better than you, it's about control. When people know your weaknesses, they know where to push. Imagine you confess to a friend that you've always felt insecure about your looks. You're just being real, letting them in. They hug you, tell you you're crazy for thinking that, and you feel closer to them. But then one day you argue. Things get heated, and out of nowhere, they snap. Maybe if you stopped obsessing over how you look, you'd actually get somewhere. That wasn't a random jab. That was a calculated hit, aimed right at the soft spot you showed them. They didn't forget what you said. They filed it away, waiting for the perfect moment to use it. And now you're left reeling, wondering how someone who seemed so caring could turn so cold so fast. The scariest part? They don't always show their hand right away. Some people are patient. They'll play the long game, acting supportive for weeks, months, even years, all while quietly building their case against you. They'll nod along when you talk about your self-doubt, your regrets, your fears. They'll tell you they admire your honesty. But behind that smile, they're labeling you weak, unstable, flawed. They're deciding you're less than them, even if they never say it to your face. Maybe it shows up in little ways. A condescending tone they start using, a subtle pity in their eyes, a slow drift as they stop taking you seriously. Or maybe it's bigger, they start talking behind your back, turning your confession into a story they tell at parties. "Oh yeah, they told me they're still messed up over that thing from years ago. Can you believe it?" Your struggle becomes their punchline, and you don't even know it's happening until the rumors circle back to you. So why do people do this? Because it's human nature. We're wired to compare, to rank, to find our place in the pecking order. When you share something personal, you're not just giving them a piece of your life, you're giving them a chance to feel bigger by making you smaller. They might not even realize they're doing it. It's not always malicious. Sometimes it's just instinct. But intentional or not, the result is the same. You lose. You lose control over how you're seen, you lose the safety of your own story, and you lose the trust you thought you could count on. That's the danger of assuming people care. Most don't. They're too busy caring about themselves. Let's flip it around for a second. Think about the people you admire, the ones who seem unshakable, who carry themselves with quiet strength. Do they spill their guts to everyone they meet? Do they tell you every doubt they've ever had, every time they've fallen short? No, they don't. There's a reason for that. They know the game. They know that the less you reveal, the less people can pin on you. Mystery isn't just cool, it's a shield. When someone doesn't know your flaws, they can't judge you for them. When they don't know your struggles, they can't use them to feel superior. You stay untouchable, unreadable, and that's where the real power lies. So what's the takeaway here? Be careful who you let in. Stop assuming people are as good as they pretend to be. That friend who's always asking how you're doing. Does she really care? Or is she just fishing for something juicy? That coworker who listens so intently. Is he rooting for you? Or is he waiting for you to slip? That family member who seems so understanding. Do they respect you? Or do they secretly think they've got you figured out? Ask yourself, does this person have the character to handle my truth? Are they mature enough, loyal enough to keep my words safe? Because if they're not, if there's even a sliver of doubt, then you're better off keeping your mouth shut. The world is full of listeners, but very few of them are keepers. Most are just waiting to turn your honesty into their advantage. They'll smile in your face while they judge you in their hearts, and by the time you see it, the damage is already done. So protect yourself. Guard your story like it's gold, because once it's out there, you can't take it back. And in a world where people love to tear each other down, silence isn't just smart, it's survival. 2. Your weaknesses can be used against you. Picture this: you're in the middle of a heated argument. Voices are raised, emotions are running wild, and then it happens. Someone says something that cuts you deeper than you thought possible. It's not just a random insult. It's precise, personal. Like they reached into your soul and pulled out the exact thing you've been hiding from the world. Maybe they bring up that time you failed miserably at something you cared about. Maybe they throw your biggest fear in your face, the one you swore you'd never let define you. Or maybe they twist a secret you trusted them with, turning it into a weapon that leaves you speechless, hurt, and betrayed. That wasn't an accident. That wasn't luck. That was a calculated strike. And do you know how they knew exactly where to hit you? Because you told them. You handed them the blueprint to your vulnerabilities, thinking they'd keep it safe. And now here you are, bleeding from a wound you didn't even see coming. This is the second brutal reason why sharing your personal life can destroy you. Your weaknesses can and will be used against you. When you open up about your fears, your failures, your deepest insecurities, you're not just sharing a story. You're giving someone a map to your breaking points. And the painful truth is, not everyone who listens has your best interests at heart. Some people don't hear your struggles as a cry for understanding. They hear it as an opportunity. They're not there to lift you up. They're there to collect, to stockpile every crack in your armor for the moment they need to tear you down. And when that moment comes, whether it's in a fight, a power play, or just a chance to feel bigger than you, they won't hesitate to use what you gave them. Think about it. You're sitting with someone you trust, a friend, a partner, a sibling, and you let something slip. Maybe it's a regret that's been eating at you, like the time you walked away from a dream because you were too scared to fail. You tell them because you think they'll get it, because you want to feel less alone. They listen. They nod. Maybe they even say something comforting like, "Hey, we all mess up sometimes." You feel safe, like you found a soft place to land. But fast forward a few months. You're arguing about something stupid, whose turn it was to do the dishes, why they didn't show up when they said they would. And out of nowhere, they hit you with it. No wonder you never made it anywhere. You're too afraid to even try. Boom. That regret you shared in confidence is now a dagger in their hand, and they just plunged it right into your chest. You're stunned, wondering how a moment of vulnerability turned into this. That's the thing about weaknesses. They're not just flaws you carry. They're leverage for someone else. You tell your partner about the time your parents made you feel worthless growing up, how it still stings when you think about it. You're hoping for empathy, maybe a "you're enough" to soothe the ache. They hug you, they tell you they're sorry you went through that, and for a while you feel closer. But then one day you're fighting about something else. Money, plans, whatever, and they snap. Maybe your parents were right about you. Ouch. That wasn't a random low blow. They didn't pull that out of thin air. They knew it would hurt because you showed them where the wound was. You gave them the ammo, and they loaded it up, waiting for the perfect shot. It's not just in relationships, either. It happens with friends, too. Imagine you tell a buddy about a time you got passed over for a promotion because you choked in the interview. You laugh it off now, but deep down it still stings. It's a sore spot you don't poke too often. He slaps you on the back, says, "Man, that sucks, but you'll get the next one." You think he's in your corner. Then one night you're out with a group and he's had a few too many. Someone brings up work, and he blurts out, "Yeah, this guy's too scared to even talk in a meeting. Remember that interview?" Everyone laughs, but you don't. It's not funny to you. It's your pain, your failure, and now it's a joke at your expense. He didn't mean to hurt you, maybe, but he still used what you told him to get a cheap laugh, to look like the big man in the room. Your weakness became his spotlight. Here's the kicker. Some people don't even wait for a fight or a crowd. They're strategic about it. They listen to your struggles not to support you, but to control you. You tell a coworker you're terrified of public speaking. It's why you avoid presentations whenever you can. They act sympathetic, maybe even offer to cover for you once or twice. You're grateful, thinking you've got an ally. But then a big project comes up, and they need someone to take the fall if it goes south. Guess who they volunteer? Oh, they hate speaking up. They'll be fine staying in the background. Suddenly, your fear isn't just a secret. It's a tool they've used to keep you small while they climb higher. They didn't help you, they played you, and they only knew how because you let them in. Why does this happen? Because people are drawn to power, and there's no easier way to feel powerful than to exploit someone else's weak spots. It's not always about hate. Sometimes it's just selfishness. They see your vulnerability as a chance to win, whether it's an argument, a competition, or just their own ego boost. Think about how enemies win wars, not by attacking where you're strong, but by hitting where you're fragile. And when you share your fears or failures, you're basically handing over the battle plan. Here's where I'm weak. Don't tell anyone. Okay? But they don't have to tell anyone to use it. They just have to wait for the right moment to strike. The worst part? Once they know, you can't take it back. That friend who mocked your failure, that partner who weaponized your past, they don't forget. Even if you patch things up, even if they apologize, they still know. It's in their arsenal now, and every time you're around them, you're wondering if it'll come up again. You're at their mercy, and that's a powerless place to be. So what do? You stop sharing. You stop trusting people with the parts of you that hurt. Before you open up, ask yourself, if this person turned on me tomorrow, could they ruin me with what I'm about to say? If the answer's yes, keep it locked down. Silence isn't weakness, it's your shield. The less they know, the less they can hurt you. 3. Jealousy turns friends into enemies. You've just landed a win. Maybe a new job, a big sale, or a personal goal you've been chasing forever. You're buzzing with excitement, and naturally, you want to share it with the people closest to you. You call up a friend, text your group chat, maybe even post a little humble brag online. You expect high fives, cheers, "I'm so proud of you," vibes. And at first, that's what you get. Smiles, claps on the back, a few, "you deserve it" comments. But then something shifts. That friend who was all grins starts giving you half-hearted, "cool, man" responses. That cousin who used to hype you up now tosses out a snarky, "must be nice." And suddenly, you're picking up on vibes you can't quite place. Coldness, distance, a weird edge to their words. What's going on? Here's the ugly truth. Not everyone's happy when you win. Jealousy doesn't clap for you. It stabs you in the back. And that's the third reason sharing your life is a minefield. It can turn your friends into your enemies. We like to think success brings people together, that your rise lifts everyone around you. But that's a fairy tale. The reality is, not everyone's built to celebrate you. Some people, especially the ones closest to you, see your victories as a mirror to their own failures. You get the promotion and they're still stuck in the same dead-end job. You buy a house and they're still renting. You hit a milestone and they're spinning their wheels. It's not that they hate you, at least not at first. It's that your success makes them feel smaller. And instead of chasing their own dreams, they start resenting yours. Jealousy creeps in like a slow poison. And before you know it, the people you thought were in your corner are quietly rooting for you to fall. Take this scenario. You've been grinding on a side hustle for months, and it finally pays off. You make your first big profit. You're pumped, so you tell a friend you've known since high school. She's been there through the late nights, the doubts, so you figure she'll be thrilled. She smiles, says, "That's awesome." But there's something off. Her eyes don't light up. Her tone's flat. A week later, you notice she's dodging your calls. Then you hear through the grapevine she's been talking smack. "Yeah, he's acting all big now, but it's just luck. He'll crash soon." What happened? Jealousy happened. She didn't see your win as a shared joy. She saw it as a threat. You moved forward while she stayed still, and instead of being inspired, she turned bitter. Now she's not your cheerleader. She's your critic, waiting for you to stumble so she can say, "Told you so." It's not always that blatant, though. Jealousy's sneaky. It hides behind fake smiles and subtle digs. That friend who used to text you all the time? Now they're busy whenever you've got good news. That coworker who was your lunch buddy? They start nitpicking your work after you get a shout-out from the boss. Don't get too full of yourself. They'll say with a laugh, like it's a joke, but it's not. It's a jab. A little seed of spite planted because your shine makes their shadows feel darker. And here's the dangerous part. It doesn't stop at words. Jealousy doesn't just sit there. It acts. They might not confront you directly, but they'll sabotage you in quiet ways. They spread rumors. Oh, she only got that gig because she knows someone, or downplay your achievements. It's not that big a deal. Anyone could have done it. They chip away at you not because you've wronged them, but because your success stings. The betrayal cuts deepest when it's someone you trust. Strangers don't get jealous. They don't know you well enough to care. It's the people who've seen your journey, who've walked beside you, who feel it most. You grew up with them, struggled with them, and now you're pulling ahead. They thought you'd stay on the same level forever, equals in the grind. But when you rise, it flips the script and some can't handle it. Imagine you tell your sibling you've saved up for a dream trip. You're expecting a, "That's dope." But instead, they smirk and say, "Oh, so you're too good for us now?" It's not pride in their voice. It's envy. They're not mad you're going. They're mad they're not. And that resentment festers. Maybe they start excluding you from family stuff, whispering to others that you've changed. Your win didn't bond you, it broke you apart. So how do you protect yourself? You move in silence. The less they know, the less they can hate. Keep your victories private, your plans under wraps. Don't give jealousy a target to aim at. That friend who's always asking, "How's it going?" Don't spill the details. Smile, say, "Good," and leave it there, because the second they see you climbing, the knives come out. And trust me, it's not worth the risk. Jealousy doesn't just turn friends into enemies. It turns your life into a battlefield. Stay quiet, stay safe, and let your results do the talking. 4. The more you share, the less people respect you. Imagine this. You meet someone new, someone who catches your eye because they've got this quiet, unshakable presence. They don't say much, but when they do, people lean in. You don't know their whole story, where they've been, what they've overcome, but that mystery makes them magnetic. You wonder about them, you admire them, you respect them, all because they don't lay everything out for the world to see. Now flip the script. Picture someone else. Someone who's always talking, always venting, always spilling their guts about every struggle, every win, every thought that crosses their mind. At first, you listen, maybe even feel for them. But over time, it shifts. They stop being interesting. They stop being impressive. They become predictable, ordinary, someone you can figure out in 5 minutes flat. And just like that, your respect for them fades. Why? Because the more you share, the less people respect you. And that's the 4th brutal reason why oversharing is a dangerous mistake. There's a hard truth about human nature most people don't want to face. Familiarity breeds indifference. When you reveal too much, your fears, your failures, your daily dramas, you strip away the aura that makes you powerful. You become an open book, and here's the thing about open books. No one treasures them. They read them once, shrug, and move on. Think about the people you look up to, the leaders, the innovators, the ones who seem larger than life. Do they broadcast every doubt they've ever had? Do they tell you about the nights they cried themselves to sleep or the times they almost gave up? No, they don't. They keep it locked down, and that silence isn't weakness. It's strength. It's mystery. It's the reason you're drawn to them, the reason you can't help but respect them. Because what's hidden is always worth more than what's handed out for free. Let's break it down. You've got a friend who's always oversharing. Every time you see them, it's a flood. How stressed they are at work, how their ex keeps texting them, how they're worried they'll never get ahead. First, you're there for it. You nod, you sympathize, you try to lift them up. But after a while, it gets old. You've heard it all before. You know their patterns, their excuses, their whole messy life story. There's no surprise left, no depth to uncover. They're not someone you admire anymore, they're predictable, needy, and deep down you start to see them as less capable, less intriguing, less worthy of your time. You don't mean to, it's not even conscious, but it happens. Why? Because they've given you everything. And when there's nothing left to wonder about, there's nothing left to respect. Contrast that with someone who plays it close to the chest. You work with a guy who's good at his job, really good, but he doesn't talk about it. He doesn't brag about late nights at the office or complain about the stress. He just shows up, kills it, and goes home. One day, you find out through someone else he just landed a huge client. Something you'd have shouted from the rooftops. But he didn't say a word. Suddenly, you're curious. What else is he capable of? How does he stay so calm? What's driving him? You don't know, and that not knowing makes him bigger in your eyes. He's not begging for your approval or your pity. He's letting his actions speak, and that quiet confidence demands respect. It's not arrogance. It's power. The power of holding back. Here's where it gets real. Oversharing doesn't just make you boring, it makes you dismissible. You tell everyone about the fight you had with your boss, how you almost quit but didn't, how you're barely hanging on. You think it's relatable, humanizing. But to them, it's a signal. Oh, they're not as strong as I thought. They're a mess. Can't even handle a tough day. They don't say it out loud, but they think it. And once they've got you pegged, once they've boxed you in as the one who's always struggling or always whining, you're done. They stop taking you seriously. Your words lose weight. Your presence loses pull. You're not a force anymore. You're just noise. And in a world where respect is currency, that's a price you can't afford to pay. It's not just about struggles either, it's victories too. You land a big win and can't wait to tell everyone. You post it, you text it, you bring it up at every chance. At first, people cheer. But if you keep going, if you overshare every detail, every step, every feeling, it backfires. They get tired of hearing it. Okay, we get it, you're doing great. Move on. What was once impressive becomes annoying, and instead of lifting you up, they start rolling their eyes. Compare that to the person who drops a hint about a win and leaves it there. Oh yeah, I closed that deal last week. No fanfare, no play-by-play. Suddenly, everyone's wondering how they did it, what else they've got up their sleeve. That's respect. That's value. That's what you lose when you give too much away. Why does this happen? Because humans crave what's rare. The less you say, the more they want to hear. The less they know, the more they imagine. But when you spill it all, your insecurities, your triumphs, your every waking thought, you flood the market. You're not special anymore. You're common. And common things don't command respect, they get overlooked. Look at the most powerful people in history. The CEOs, the artists, the legends, they don't tell you everything. They show you just enough to keep you hooked. And the rest is a shadow you can't touch. That's why you're still talking about them. That's why they matter. Mystery isn't a trick. It's a law of human nature, and the second you break it, you're handing your power to the crowd. So what's the move? Stop talking. Keep your struggles private, your wins understated, your life a puzzle they can't solve. Let them guess. Let them wonder. Because the moment they think they've got you figured out, they stop caring. Respect isn't earned by being an open book. It's earned by being a locked vault. Guard your story, and you'll guard your worth. 5. Trust is a luxury, not a right. You've been burned before. You know the sting when someone you thought was solid turns out to be anything but. Maybe it was a friend who promised to keep your secret, only to spill it the next day. Maybe it was a partner who swore they'd never hurt you, then used your own words to tear you apart. Or maybe it was a family member who acted like your rock, only to crumble when you needed them most. It's hard, doesn't it? That gut punch moment when you realize trust isn't a given. It's a gamble. And that's the 5th reason sharing your life is a minefield. Trust is a luxury, not a right. Not everyone deserves it. And the ones who betray you, they're usually the ones you least expect. We want to believe the best in people. It's natural. You meet someone, they're kind, they listen, they say, "You can tell me anything," and you buy it. You think, "They're my friend. They wouldn't screw me over." Or, "They're family. They've got my back." You assume loyalty comes with the title friend, lover, kin. But here's the cold, hard truth. Loyalty isn't automatic. It's not a birthright or a handshake deal. Most people are only loyal as long as it suits them. As long as they're getting something, your time, your support, your validation, they're all in. But the second there's more to gain by flipping the script, they'll do it without blinking. And when they do, it's not a stranger holding the knife. It's someone you let in. Think about this. You're having a rough patch, and you turn to a friend. You tell them you're drowning. Maybe it's debt, maybe it's a fight with your spouse, maybe it's just life kicking you while you're down. They're there, all ears, saying, "I'm with you. Don't worry." You feel lighter, like you've got a lifeline. Then a few weeks later, you find out they've been talking, telling mutual friends, "Yeah, she's a mess right now," or "He can't get his act together." It's not support, it's gossip. They didn't stand by you, they sold you out. Why? Because it made them feel important, because it gave them a story to tell. Your trust wasn't sacred to them, it was currency. And now you're left picking up the pieces, wondering how you didn't see it coming. It gets worse in closer ties. You tell your partner something heavy, maybe a childhood trauma that still haunts you. You're raw, vulnerable, hoping they'll hold that piece of you gently. They do at first. They comfort you, promise you're safe with them. But then one day you're arguing, and it's ugly. Out of nowhere, they hurl it back. "No wonder you're so messed up. Look at your past." It's a gut shot and you're reeling. How could they? Because trust isn't a right they owe you. It's a luxury they can revoke. They didn't see your confession as a bond. They saw it as leverage, and when push came to shove, they used it. That's the danger. Betrayal doesn't come from enemies. It comes from the ones you thought were different. Why do people turn? Self-interest. Loyalty lasts until a better deal comes along. That coworker who swore they'd back you up on a project? They're all smiles until the boss offers a bonus to whoever takes credit. Suddenly, they're stepping over you, acting like you never mattered. That friend who knows your deepest fears? They're your ride or die until they need to impress someone new. Then your secrets become their icebreaker. "Oh, you think you've got problems? You should hear what he's been through." It's not personal to them, it's practical. They're loyal when it's easy, but the moment betrayal pays off, whether it's status, revenge, or just a quick ego boost, they're gone. The sting is in the surprise. You don't see it until it's too late because you trusted too fast. You didn't test them, didn't watch their moves. You assumed their words meant something permanent. But trust isn't a gift you hand out. It's a privilege they earn. Look at how they treat others. Do they gossip about their best friend the second they leave the room? Do they ditch people when the going gets tough? If they'll do it to someone else, they'll do it to you. Don't be blind. People show you who they are long before they turn. You just have to pay attention. So how do you survive? You ration trust like it's gold. Don't give it to every smiling face or warm hug. Make them prove it through actions, not promises. Watch how they handle pressure, how they act when there's nothing in it for them. Because the ones who deserve your trust don't demand it, they show it. And until they do, keep your cards close. Betrayal's too steep a price for a cheap leap of faith. 6. Your secrets become gossip material. Imagine this, you're sitting with someone you trust. Maybe over coffee, maybe late at night when the world feels quiet and safe. You've been holding something in, something heavy, and you finally let it out. It's a secret, a mistake you made, a fear you can't shake, a piece of your life you've kept buried. You look them in the eye and say, "Please, don't tell anyone." They nod, they promise, they swear it's locked away with them. You breathe easier, thinking it's safe, thinking it's still yours. But then a week later, you're at a party, and someone you barely know gives you that look. The one that says they know something. They drop a casual, "Heard you've been through some stuff lately," and your stomach drops. You play it off, but inside you're spinning. How did they know? Who talked? And then it hits you. Your secret's not a secret anymore. It's a story, bouncing from mouth to mouth, twisted and stretched until it's nothing like what you said. That's the 6th reason sharing your life is a trap. Your secrets become gossip material, and once they're out, you've lost them forever. Here's the brutal reality. People love to talk. It's not even about you half the time, it's about them. Your private pain, your hidden struggles, your quiet confessions, they're not sacred to most people. They're entertainment. They're a way to fill awkward silences, to feel connected, to seem interesting. You think you're confiding in someone who cares, someone who'll guard your words like treasure. But the second you walk away, that secret starts itching at them. It's too good, too juicy, too tempting to keep inside. I shouldn't say this, but they start and it's over. They tell one person, just one, they swear. And that person tells another, and before you know it, your life's a campfire tale, passed around with laughs or gasps or smug little nods. And you're the last to know it's even happening. Let's paint the picture. You tell a friend you cheated on a test back in school. Not proud of it, but it's part of your past. You're opening up, trying to bond over dumb mistakes we've all made. They laugh, say, "No way, you," and you think it's cool, like you've shared a moment. Fast forward a month. You're hanging out with a group, and someone else brings up cheating scandals. Your friend smirks and goes, "Oh, ask this guy. He's got a story." Eyes turn to you, and suddenly you're the cheater in the room. It's not a funny anecdote anymore. It's a label, and it's not even accurate. By the time it's gone through a few mouths, it's morphed into, "Yeah, he cheated his way through school." What you said in trust is now a distorted rumor, and you're stuck defending a version of yourself you don't even recognize. It's not just the big stuff either, it's the small things that spiral. You mention to a coworker you're worried about your kids' grades, just venting over lunch. They pat your hand, say, "Kids are tough, huh?" And you feel heard. But by the end of the week, you overhear someone in the break room. "Did you hear their kids failing? Must be rough at home." Now your parenting's on trial, and people are whispering about your troubled family. It's not concern, it's chatter. Your moment of honesty didn't stay between you and them. It grew legs and ran wild. And here's the worst part. They don't even see it as betrayal. To them, it's just talk, harmless, a way to pass the time. But to you, it's your life, ripped out of your hands and handed to the crowd. Why does this happen? Because secrets are currency. People trade them. For attention, for laughs, for a quick boost in a dull conversation. You don't have to be famous for your story to spread. You just have to be interesting enough to break the boredom. And once it's out, you can't control it. They don't repeat it the way you said it. They add their spin, their exaggerations, their "I heard" flourishes. Your quiet confession about a fight with your spouse becomes, "They're basically getting divorced." Your admission of a bad day becomes, "She's falling apart." It's a game of telephone, and by the time it circles back, it's a stranger's tale wearing your name. You're powerless. Begging people to stop doesn't work. Explaining yourself just fuels it more. The damage is done, and your secret's not yours anymore. The fallout's ugly. People look at you differently. Some pity you. Poor thing going through all that. Some judge you. Can't believe they did that. Some just laugh, turning your pain into their punchline. Your reputation's at their mercy, and you didn't even sign up for it. That's why the smartest move is silence. The less they know, the less they can twist. Tell someone your secret and you're rolling the dice. Will they keep it or will they cash it in? Most won't keep it, not because they hate you, but because they can't help themselves. So lock it down. Your secrets are yours. Don't let them become everyone else's plaything. 7. Fake supporters disguise themselves as friends. You've got this person in your life. They're always there, always asking, always listening. They're the first to say, "How you holding up?" When things get rough, the first to cheer when you score a win. You think, "This is my people. They get me." You let them in, tell them the real stuff, the lows you're clawing out of, the highs you're riding. They nod. They hug. They say, "I'm so proud of you," or "You'll get through this." You feel supported, like you've got a real ally. But then something shifts. You catch a vibe, an offhand comment, a weird silence, a moment where their mask slips. And later, when you least expect it, they use what you told them against you. That's the 7th reason sharing your life is a gamble. Fake supporters disguise themselves as friends, and they're not there to lift you up. They're there to take you down when the time's right. These aren't strangers lurking in the shadows. These are the ones you let close. They're slick, blending in with the real ones, wearing friendship like a costume. They don't storm in with red flags waving. They slide in with smiles and questions, acting like they're all about you. Picture this, you've got a friend who's always digging. "What happened with that job thing? How'd your date go? You okay after that fight with your mom?" They're relentless, pulling details out of you like it's their job. You think it's care. Someone finally gets how hard you're trying, how much you're carrying. They lean in wide-eyed, saying, "Wow, that's intense. Tell me more." So you do. You spill the stress, the wins, the ugly parts you don't show everyone. They soak it up and you feel seen. But here's what you don't see. They're not collecting your story to support you. They're stockpiling it to use later. Let's say you're climbing. You land a gig you've been chasing, and you tell this friend. They're all hype. That's huge. You're killing it. You're glowing, thinking they're in your corner. But then you notice little things. They start asking weirdly specific questions. How much are they paying you? What did the boss say exactly? And you brush it off, figuring they're just excited. Then one day you're up for another step, a promotion, a project, and suddenly they're not so thrilled. They're quiet, or worse, they drop a backhanded, "Don't get too cocky now." Next thing you know, someone else at work's heard about your new role, but twisted. Yeah, he's bragging about it nonstop. Who started that? Your friend. They didn't cheer you on, they cashed in your success to make you look bad, to knock you down a peg when you got too high. It's not just when you win, it's when you fall too. You're going through hell. Maybe a breakup's gutted you, and you're a wreck. You tell them because they've been there, always asking how you're doing. They listen, they console, they say, "You're stronger than this." You lean on them, grateful for the lifeline. But then you pull yourself together, start healing, start winning again. And they flip. They don't like the new you, the one who doesn't need them anymore. So they drag up the past. Remember when you were crying over that loser? You're not so tough. Or they tell someone else, "Oh, she was a mess a while back. Don't let her fool you." They didn't support you, they tracked you, waiting for a chance to use your low point to keep you small. Why do they do it? Because they're not friends, they're parasites. They feed off your life, not to share it, but to exploit it. When you're down, they get to play savior, soaking up the gratitude. When you're up, they get to ride your coattails until you outshine them and then they turn. They're not there for you. They're there for what you give them. Info, status, a front row seat to your drama. And when it suits them, when they're mad, jealous, or just bored, they'll weaponize it. That time you admitted you're scared of failing, they'll throw it in your face next fight. That win you shared, they'll spread it with a twist to make you the bad guy. They don't care about you, they care about leverage. The worst part? You don't see it coming. They're too good at the act, too warm, too convincing. But there's signs if you look. They ask too much and give too little. They're all ears for your pain but silent about theirs. They're there when you're spilling, gone when you're steady. Real friends don't need your whole playbook to stand by you. They just do. Fakes. They're hoarding every word, waiting to cash it in. So watch them, test them, and until they prove they're real, keep your life close. Because the second you let a fake supporter in, you're not just sharing, you're arming them. 8. Privacy is power. Imagine this, you've got a dream, a big one. Maybe it's a business you're building from scratch, a career shift you've been plotting, or a personal goal that's been burning inside you for years. You're excited, but instead of shouting it from the rooftops, you keep it to yourself. You work late nights, tweak your plans, grind in silence. No one knows the full scope. Not your friends, not your family, not even the people you see every day. Then one day it happens, you pull it off. You launch that company, snag that job, cross that finish line. People are stunned. How'd you do that? They ask, wide-eyed. When did this happen? You smile, shrug, and say, just been working on it. They're floored, impressed, maybe even a little intimidated. Why? Because you didn't let them in. You didn't give them a chance to doubt you, derail you, or steal your thunder. That's the 8th reason sharing your life is a risk. Privacy is power. When you keep your plans and struggles under wraps, you hold the reins. No one can touch you, and that's where real strength lives. Think about the people who run the world, the ones who build empires, shape industries, leave legacies. Do they announce every move before it's made? Do they spill their doubts to anyone who'll listen? No, they move like shadows, quiet and deliberate. You don't hear about their next step until it's already done, until the deal's signed, the product's out, the victory's sealed. Why? Because they know a secret most people miss. The less others know, the more control you have. When your life's an open stage, everyone's a critic, judging, meddling, waiting for you to slip. But when it's a locked room, you're the only one with the key. No one can sabotage what they can't see, and that's your edge. Let's play it out. You're working on something big, say a side hustle that could change everything. You're tempted to tell your best friend, get their take, share the buzz. But you don't. You keep it quiet, tinkering away in private. A few months later, it's ready, you launch it, and it's a hit. Your friend's jaw drops. You've been doing this the whole time? Why didn't you say anything? Because you didn't need to. If you told them early, what might have happened? They could have said, that's risky, maybe stick to what you know. Planting doubt that slows you down. Or worse, they tell someone else. He's got this crazy idea, let's see if it works. And now it's out there, exposed to skeptics or copycats before it's even born. By staying silent, you dodged the noise. You kept the power to shape it, to own it, to make it yours without interference. It's not just about plans, it's about struggles, too. You're going through a rough patch, maybe money's tight, or you're wrestling with a choice that's tearing you up inside. You could vent to someone, let it all pour out, but you don't. You handle it solo, figure it out behind closed doors. Then one day, you're back on your feet, stronger, sharper, like nothing ever happened. People notice. You okay? You've been quiet lately. You know, I'd say, yeah, just working through some stuff. They're curious, maybe even awed. How'd they bounce back like that? They wonder. They don't know the half of it, and that's why they respect you. If you'd shared the mess, every tear, every doubt, they'd have ammo to pity you, judge you, or worse, manipulate you. Oh, you're struggling? Let me help. Here's what you should do. Suddenly, your fight's not yours anymore. It's theirs to steer. Privacy keeps it yours. Here's the flip side. Oversharing hands your power away. You tell everyone your next move. I'm applying for this gig. Fingers crossed. And now they're in on it. Some cheer. Sure. But others? They're waiting for you to fail. Let's see if she pulls it off. They smirk. If you don't, they've got front row seats to your flop. Told you it was a long shot. If you do, they're ready to downplay it. Big deal, anyone could have done that. Either way, you're exposed, vulnerable to their takes. Or take your struggles. Spill that you're broke, and watch the vultures circle. Some offer fake sympathy. Some spread it around. Some try to fix you with advice that's really control in disguise. Your life's not your own anymore. It's a public project, open to anyone with an opinion or an agenda. The most successful people get this. They don't post their blueprints online or cry on every shoulder. They operate in stealth. Plans unvoiced, battles unseen, until they're ready to show the world what they've built. That's not luck. It's strategy. Privacy shields you from doubters who'd kill your confidence, from jealous eyes who'd steal your ideas, from manipulators who'd twist your weaknesses into chains. When no one knows your moves, they can't block them. When no one sees your scars, they can't pick at them. You stay untouchable, unpredictable, and that's power no one can take. So keep it close. Your dreams, your fights, your next chapter. Let them simmer in silence. Don't give the world a vote in your story, because the less they know, the more you control, and in a game full of watchers waiting to pounce, that's your greatest weapon. 9. Once something is shared, you can never take it back. You've said it, those words you didn't mean to let slip. Maybe it was in a fight, a burst of anger you couldn't hold in. Maybe it was a late-night confession, when the wine loosened your tongue and the quiet felt safe. Or maybe it was a casual text, tossed off without a second thought. Whatever it was, a regret, a fear, a piece of you, you let it out and now it's gone. You can't grab it back, can't erase it from their mind. You tell yourself it's fine, they'll forget, they won't use it. But then days, weeks, years later, it resurfaces, twisted, weaponized, staring you down like a ghost you can't outrun. That's the 9th reason sharing your life is a gamble you can't win. Once something's shared, you can never take it back. It's out there, forever, and it can haunt you when you least expect it. Let's set the scene. You're mad, fuming, at your roommate. They've been slacking again, and you snap. You're just like my dad. always letting me down. It's out before you can stop it. A raw, ugly truth about your past you've never shared. They blink, surprised, but the fight moves on. You think it's buried, just heat of the moment noise. Months later, you're good, laughing roommates again until they're pissed about something else. Out of nowhere, they hit you with it. No wonder your dad bailed. You're impossible to live with. Your heart stops. That wasn't theirs to use. You gave it to them in a flash of trust, and now it's a club they're swinging. You can't unsay it, can't unhear it. Just there's now, and you're paying for it. It's not just fights. It's the quiet moments that bite, too. You tell a friend you're scared you'll never be enough. Not at work, not in love, not anywhere. It's deep, personal, something you've barely admitted to yourself. They hug you, say, "You're more than enough." And you feel lighter. Years pass, you drift apart, life happens. Then one day, you're up for the same job. They don't get it, they're bitter, and suddenly, you hear through someone else. He's got no confidence. Told me himself he's never good enough. Your secret's not a bond anymore. It's their ammo, fired to sink you. You can't claw it back. It's out, alive, doing damage you never saw coming. This is the trap. Once it's spoken, it's not yours anymore. You lose the wheel. They can twist it. "I didn't mean it like that." Doesn't matter. Their version wins. They can spread it. A whisper to one becomes a shout to many. They can save it, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. And in today's world, it's worse. You post something online, venting about a bad day, hinting at a breakup, and it's eternal. Screenshots don't fade. Someone saves it, shares it, and years later, it's still there, a fossil of your worst moment dug up to bury you again. You delete it, sure, but the internet doesn't forget. Neither do people. Take this. You text a coworker, "I'm so over this job. Might just quit." It's a rant, not a plan. They laugh. Text back, "Same." You move on. But they don't. They screenshot it, hold on to it. Months later, you're up for a raise, and somehow the boss knows you're uncommitted. Who leaked it? Your ally, looking to climb over you. You can't prove it, can't rewind it. That text isn't yours anymore. It's evidence, and it's cost you. Or maybe it's a parent. You tell them you're broke, just needing to vent. They promise it's between you. Then at a family dinner, your aunt says, "Heard you're struggling? Need a loan?" It's not help. It's humiliation. Your words escaped, and now they're everyone's business. Why is it permanent? Because people don't let go. Memories cling, especially the messy ones. They don't need malice, boredom's enough. Your secret's a spark. They fan it into a fire because it's something to do. And if they turn on you, it's a loaded gun. Your past, your fears, your slips, ready to fire. You can't erase their minds, can't delete their tongues. Even apologies don't fix it. They've got the knowledge, and that's power you can't reclaim. So what's the play? Silence. If it doesn't leave your lips, it can't leave your control. No one can distort what they don't hear, weaponize what they don't know. Before you share, ask, "Do I want this out there forever? Could this come back to break me?" If there's a chance, a whisper of a yes, clamp it shut. Because once it's gone for good. And in a world where words are weapons, the safest ones are the ones you never say. So there you have it, the 9 brutal truths about why sharing your personal life can cost you everything. From the silent judgments that erode your worth to the gossip that twists your secrets. From the fake friends waiting to strike to the permanent scars of words you can't take back. This world isn't as safe as it seems. Every time you open up, you're rolling the dice, betting on trust that's rarer than gold. But here's the good news. You don't have to play that game. You can choose silence. You can choose privacy. You can choose to hold your plans, your struggles, your soul close. And in doing that, you take back the power no one else deserves to have. The less they know, the stronger you stand. It's not about hiding. It's about protecting what's yours in a world full of takers. Now, I want you to think about this. Who's in your circle right now? Who's listening a little too closely, smiling a little too wide? And what have you already given them that you can't get back? It's not too late to change the game. Start today, move in quiet, build in secret, heal in private. Let your results speak when they're ready, not before. Because at the end of the day, Your life isn't a story for everyone. It's a treasure for you to guard. Keep it that way and you'll see. The power you've been giving away was yours all along. To every single one of you at Zenlight 8 who stuck with me to the end, thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. You didn't just watch a video, you took a step toward protecting yourself, toward seeing the world for what it is and arming yourself with the wisdom to rise above it. That means more to me than you know. If this hit home, if it opened your eyes, hit that like button and drop a comment. Let me know what you're taking away from this. And if you're not subscribed yet, join us, because this is just the beginning. We've got more truth, more strength, more Zenlight 8 coming your way. Stay smart, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Until then, keep your light burning and keep it close.